The fuck is that?
I hope you got your shitting pants on.
Because you are about to shit your pants.
All right, everybody, welcome to The Big Picture. I am Michael Sargent. Welcome to the program. What is up, people? All right, a couple of things to get into. First and foremost, what a bunch of bitches.
Bitch.
Yeah. Well, let me just put it to you this way. A couple of weeks ago, I didn't broadcast anything last week because to be able to broadcast things, you have to have some time. And last week, I had no time. It sucked. I wasn't happy about it. But you know what? Shit happens. And that's just the way it is. Sorry I was a jackass.
Jackass!
It's going to happen from time to time. All right? My apologies. So let me lay this out to you. Sometimes I have epiphanies. And one of the things that I was just floored by the other day was I had left work, and I was on my way home, and I've got a green light. On my way home, there's several red lights that you got to get through, but here I am driving on the road, and all of a sudden, while I have a green light, I see this woman, I'm going to say, to me, she was a kid, maybe 23, maybe 24 at the most. And for the sake of argument, I'm going to assume that her mother was walking with her, but she's pushing a baby carriage. And obviously there was a baby in that carriage. The problem here is I have a green light and I'm rolling down the road, and heaven forbid that, if I wasn't paying attention, I could have very easily hit them. So, I do what, anybody in this situation would do. I go to hit my brakes, and, I go to slow down, and I get this dirty look from this person. And I look over at the street signal signs, and it clearly shows a red hand. It's like, don't go. And I'm looking at the light saying, I've got the frickin' green light here. And yeah, normally you yield to the right of way to pedestrians, but in this case it's like, lady, you're pushing a baby carriage. Why would you even take this chance? And she's yelling at me. And I looked at her and I said, and this is going to sound like I'm a real dick, and I guess I am, but I looked at her and said, what, are you stupid? I said, there's a green light here and you've got a red light over there. Well, that doesn't matter. And I said, what do you mean it doesn't matter? It's telling you not to go, and clearly, you're jaywalking, or whatever you want to call it. You're not paying attention. Well, she was really getting, kind of shitty with me. And then I started to think about this, and I said, oh, shit, here we go.
And here we go.
And then I went into all right, it's time for me to start slaying. Bodies are going to hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
And I looked at her, and I said, listen here, you stupid, ignorant moron. Okay? Now, I didn't say quite all that, but I said something very similar to that. And here's the issue. And it hit me. This person is part of the entitlement generation. And right then and there, These people don't think they have to follow rules or pay attention to anything. And that right there is what drives me crazy. So, needless to say, I gave her a good little lesson right there on the street along with her mother. And I told her, I says, lady, you don't realize this, but there's traffic laws. And I said, green light for automobiles mean go. And that sign right over there, clearly, has a red hand in it telling you not to proceed. And what are you guys doing? Proceeding. So, I really, quickly looked at it and I said, there is absolutely no point in standing here and arguing with these people. This is not going to do me any good at all. So I decided instead of really bashing them, I just said, you know what? Fuck you. Go have a day. I'm out of here. And I left. I felt pretty good about that. Didn't feel good about the entire situation, but I felt pretty good about being able to just say, fuck this, I'm out of here. I don't need this crap. And I think that's where the epiphany comes in. People always differ on, any situation. They always differ on any situation. People have opinions, and that's cool. But the thing is in today's day and age, everybody wants to shove those opinions down everybody's throat. It's like, all right, prime example. Mr. Leffler and I, we do not agree on politics, although we are similarly, somewhat aligned party-wise. Scott, you can correct me if I'm wrong, in that assumption. I'm not saying you're a Republican, but I think that you believe that there's certain things that shouldn't be violated, like Second Amendment, or Governor Cuomo. I hope you lose the election, you scumbag. But anyway, it's like I kind of support some of the things Donald Trump's doing because I see what it's doing for the economy. And I also see how the job market is growing, and people are going to disagree with this. But I look at it and I say, I know a young man not far removed from high school who just got his first job, $18 an hour to start. That's awesome. Okay? That job wasn't there a while ago. It's there now. Thank you, Donald Trump. And I don't want to hear any of you bitches come back and say that, this is the tailspin of the Obama economy. Okay, all right, just like LeBron James, okay? LeBron James, he is not and never will be Michael Jordan, okay? And there's all these comparisons to the two players and how there's some things that are similar. Matt, I had somebody today try to tell me that Michael Jordan got swept, his first 3 playoff appearances. And it was like, really? And you expect me to believe that? I watched the guy play his entire career. He was 6-0. 6-0. Don't hand me that shit. What kind of bitch are you?
Bitch.
I was just floored by that. So, now here's where it does get interesting because I finally got, pissed off to the point of trying to argue with this dumbass because he insisted that, Michael Jordan had lost and lost and lost, and he didn't. Okay? When the playoffs run started for the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan was 6-0. So, pal, you make your claims, but you can get the fuck out of my face.
Get the fuck out my face with that shit.
Because you are wrong, okay? And I'm going to tell you something, brother.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
You have no idea what you're talking about. And based on the fact that you're spewing a bunch of, facts in your own mind that aren't even true, I just have to tell you, you know what? You need to shut up because if I want to hear from you, I'll ask you.
Hey, if we want to hear you talk, I will shove my arm up your ass and work your mouth like a puppet. You hear me? You hear me?
Brother.
Yeah, there you go. So, anyway, my point of all this is, like, there's always differences in opinion, and it become pretty clear to me that, you know, like, people that were, let's just say, 8 to 12 years old when the worst president in the history of the United States came into office with all his, you know, rainbow unicorn bullshit, hope and change crap, you know, it became pretty clear to me that the generation right now, you know, after 8 years, they're going to be 20 years old, 21 years old, depending on, you know, how old they were when Obama came into office, and then, you know, how much Kool-Aid they've actually drank. So, all right, I don't want to make this show all about politics this week, or just, it was just kind of an epiphany for me to finally realize that, you know, this is a generation that we are going to have to deal with, and it's going to be very sad going down the road. These people, you know, are really going to have a hard time understanding what life is really about, okay? You know, what hard work and dedication, you know, actually, how that actually pays off. I feel sorry for you people.
You people!
There's a lot of issues there, okay? All right. Anyway, let's get off of that. All right, something I did want to talk to you about, okay? I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that a lot of photographers, or just about any photographer these days, they know who Ansel Adams was, okay? Now, little history here. Ansel Easton Adams was an American photographer and environmentalist. His black and white landscape photos of the American West, especially Yosemite National Park, have been widely reproduced on calendars, posters, books, and internet. That comes from Wikipedia. He was born February 20th, 1902, I guess, San Francisco, California. He died April 22nd, 1984, in Monterey, California. Now, for the record, I started taking photographs in 1983. I was very well aware of who Ansel Adams was at that point. I had mentioned that I had won a photography contest when I was in high school. And that, you know, photograph was a black and white Ansel Adams style photograph. Ansel was married. Okay. His wife passed away in 1984, shortly, right around the same time that Ansel died. He was best known for his photography and conservationism. Okay. He had won the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He had won awards from Hasselblad. You know, he had a couple of children, you know, quite accomplished photographer. But something I'm going to say, and this might strike a nerve with some people. I've looked at a lot of his work, and I would say that for the era, you know, the equipment that he would have been using back then, his photographs are really good. But I never really was a fan of the work. You know, does that make me a dick? I don't know. But you have to respect the guy for what he did in photography. And that kind of brings me to something today. All right. I've been doing this for a long, long time. And this kind of bothers me. I get, you know, there's certain things that I do for certain people. You know, they ask, some of them are for friends, some of them for jobs, but I always put my best foot forward when I'm doing a project. And I get a lot of reaction. I recently did some photographs that were kind of, let's call them conceptual images, okay? I had an idea. But, Ansel Adams was famous for this. You don't take a photograph, you make it. And I'm guilty of that sometimes. I like to make my photographs. And I'm amazed at all the reaction that some of my photos get, and even now with people. All the photographs that I've been doing of people, and largely in part they're headshots, portraits. There's a lot of reaction to them. And I get, all these comments that are posted up, like when I share a photo that I did of somebody to them, I get all this reaction, see all these comments and likes and things like that. But do you think that for one fucking minute that even though I've done all this, I can do all this and get all this reaction, that I still am not as busy locally as what I probably should be? And it was explained to me a lot of this is demographics. We live in such a saturated market with photographers, and I've talked about this before. The bottom line with all of this is, okay, there's two things that I've learned. I personally feel that I am extremely good at what I do. If people don't want me doing their photographs or they want to go with the status quo, fine. By all means, do that. Nobody is holding a gun to anybody's head to walk them into my studio. Okay? I don't want business like that. What I do want is people that want something true and unique. Those are the people that I want. I don't want the fake shit. Oh, well, we wanted to give you a shot. You know what? No, I give you a shot in front of my lens. Nobody gives me a shot anymore. I've been doing this far too long. And I don't mean to sound like a dick, but I am a dick when it comes to the fact that I am very good at this, and it's almost like I'm forsaken. And what happens is because I am a genuinely nice guy, I try to help people and do little favors for them. And you know what that's gotten me? It's not been a good situation, okay? It's not good. So I guess what I'm saying is, for me, that makes me kind of a loser. But moving forward, I can tell you this. I have a plan, and the plan's in place. And maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I don't care. That's what the point of all this is. I have learned not to care what people think or do. What I care about is my photography and what I can create with the skill set that I have. That's simple. People want in on that, great. If they don't, fuck off. Get away from me. I don't need a bunch of hassle. Okay? It's that simple. I know it makes me sound like a real dick, but when I see the accolades, from some of the stuff that I do, and share that with people online, and you get the reaction that you do, you would just think that it would click at some point. Like, hey, you know what? Sarge is pretty fucking good at this. Maybe we should go in to see Sarge's studio. Maybe we should let Sarge take a shot with us. No, doesn't happen that way. That's fine. I have plenty of business that I do right now, and that's why the realistic part is Everybody thinks that going in and paying $60 for a bunch of overlaid photos, Jake Olsen overlays or Woody Walter overlays and all this other crap is, the way to go, which I can do all this. I don't buy any of that stuff because I can do it myself. But that's what we have in the photo industry nowadays. If that's what people want, great. Where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is I've determined that based on what I do, what I've done for the past several years with photography, I know this much. I'm pretty much going to be done doing weddings this year. I'm just getting too old for it, and I've worked like an old cure dog my whole life, and physically the body's breaking down a little bit. I can't do some of the things that I used to do. Not saying that I'm old, but I'm old. Okay, so enough with that. It makes me sound like a real dick, but all I can tell people is if they want to see what I'm capable of doing, then they can go onto the website and take a look. My prices are up there, and that's because, I'm pretty good at this. I was told the other day that I'm the most expensive photographer in New York State, and it's like, no, I'm really not. I know photographers in New York City that charge a hell of a lot more than I do. But I do know that I'm probably the most expensive photographer in this area. And there's a reason for that. Okay? So anyway, it always seems like I got so much to say and not enough time to say it. And I never get the message out there clearly. I guess I need to figure out how to do this a little better where, I can take a topic and explain it and break it down and, get it all done in another 30 minutes. Is what it is. But anyway, I think we're going to drop out. I got about 8 minutes left in the show, and I really don't have much more to say. A lot of that is because I needed to produce some content, and I am just fucking tired. People don't realize, the type of hours that I work, which is cool. Oh, by the way, just a little side note. Yeah, there's a couple of new cameras in the mix, and boy, are they freaking incredible. Here's something I can close out this week's show with. The resolutions on one of my cameras, one of my brand new cameras that I got so I can produce the very best headshots. I'm going to tell you guys this. The resolution is so fine. When you blow that photo up, you see every single hair on a person's face. And it is detailed and it is crisp. Just imagine what I'm going to be able to do with that sucker when I actually start doing really tight headshots with it. Oh, something else too. I've been using a Tamron 70-200 f2.8 lens for a while. I've had to send it back 3 times now, back to the factory for repairs. And I went to use it again this weekend after it came back from the shop. So, Tamron, you're going to be getting a call from me because your lens failed me on a shoot again. And we're going to have a serious talk about what we're going to do about this. Tamron, right now, you guys are losers. Oh, my goddamn lens fixed. And that's that. It's still under warranty. So, anyway, we need to get that done. And I need to get the hell out because I'm tired and I still got shit to do. And this is the big picture with your favorite asshole, okay? Your forsaken photographer who runs Heavenly Views, imagery, okay, which nobody really knows about or sees anything about. But if you're lucky enough, maybe I'll do a photo of you. Yeah, it sounds really arrogant, doesn't it? All right, I'm out of here, people. Thanks for listening. Sorry if you're offended. Well, not sorry. But keep your eye out because there's a couple of projects that I'm going to be getting involved in, and they are going to be pretty impactful. I'm out.
I've got the power.
Like the turn of the whip, I snap attack, front to back, in this thing called rap. Nigga like a shovel, rhyme double on a heavenly level. Bang the bass, turn up the treble. Radical mind, day and night, all the time. 714, wise, divine, maniac, brainiac, winning the game. I'm the lyrical Jesse James. Quality, I possess, some say I'm fresh, where my voice goes through the mesh of the microphone that I am holding. Copywritten lyrics so they can't be stolen if they are snap. Don't need the police to try to save them, your voice will sing. So please, stay off my back, or I will attack, and you don't want that.